All right, let's get into the trade breakdown. I'm still in this trade because I'm waiting for all-time highs to get tapped, and I actually do want to pull up YM because right here we just swept all-time highs. If this 5 minute has a CISD, which it kind of looks like it was happening, then I want to be out. That's like my entry criteria for an exit. If we're exiting based on time, which you could hold longer because our 4 hour has 2.5 hours left. So if you want to hold based on time, then let me first say that 5 minute retraces is a great target. If you want to use time and price, 5 minute retraces, I will put a standard deviation of this 5 minute retrace right here. Standard deviation, I really want to just go to the middle of -2 to 2.5, or sorry, -2 and -2.5 right here. So like the longest I'd hold it is to like around this area, and that would probably be around where our 4 hour closes. That's like, look at ES reversing right now. This is not what I like to see. I just want it to sweep all-time high so I can be out of this trade. But let's talk about the entry because we caught 30-minute PO3 for continuations that I held past 10 a.m., past 10:30 because we were in the bottom of the 4 hour. And I forgot we had news at this time, so this 10 a.m. candle actually helped out a lot because it was so big, and so this gap, I used CE to grade how strong it was, and I used the 15 minute. Like, come on, just hit all-time highs, dude. This 5 minute is not looking strong. So we have a 5 minute CISD on ES with these two candles. The 15 minute. Okay, if we can get a 15 minute tap, it should be within the next 15 minute candle that we hit all-time highs. That's what I'm looking for ideally. If not, then it's probably going to retrace longer and further than I want to, so I'm going to exit because I'm already up so much for risking $350 because that is my risk. I only risk 350 to 400 for a trade, and that's just psychologically how I manage my trade. Because if I risk like 500, still, if this would be like a 3.5K trade, but I can find these trades quite often, to be honest. Starting off the day, let's just take off the charting and watch this trade play out. So our cycles right here, expansion. Let's go on the 5 minutes, see this easier. Expansion is our first cycle. Accumulation, manipulation is what we entered in on. That is our manipulation wick low for New York AM. And then distribution is what we're going to get into in 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. So that's why I say you can hold this for longer, but I have to go to work and I don't want to manage a trade. After these cycles, what did I look for? On YM, it already gave us true New York mitigation. We swept true New York low. True day opened low as well. Also Asia sell side. We did not hit low of the week / previous day low, which is great because that's a target for later. And I'm just going to keep that in mind. So daily cycle, because we swept that low, we have a daily cycle in play. We also have a hidden weekly cycle that I'm not going to pull up because it's going to take some time, but we do have a hidden weekly cycle, which means that, might as well. No, here it is. Here it is. So this body is lower on this side on the 15 minute, which correlates to the 1 hour, which correlates to the daily. So this right here being our hidden, putting on the charting, you can see that our hidden is right here, this deviation between the assets. So after this hidden, we have a hidden weekly, which I don't love to use, but the daily cycle and true day open being mitigated, I know that the low or our discount of the range is going to be this lower portion. So I looked for gap alignment, and all I saw was this 1 hour BPR / 90 minute BPR. And what I use for the BPRs is a smaller fair value gap. Usually the IFVG one that we break through is what I use to hold more power over the market, because inversion, it's more fine. Right here we have it fall like really just overlapping each other. So I want to use the higher time frame one. On the 4 hour too, we had this inversion for value gap. So what I was wanting to do is enter below that if we're going to be bullish, because if I can get in there, then I know that this 4 hour candle right here is going to support above that or tap into it, or it'll be just so close to my entry, which my entry was at the bottom of this 4 hour candle, really the bottom of this 4 hour gap. So that gave me confidence to hold this until all-time highs plus. And I'm just going to Should I let this run while I? No, I just kind of leave it there, and we'll watch it as it comes up. And because New York session is the most vol. Oh my gosh. Okay, so power went out again. Okay, take two because our Wi-Fi cut out again. This is the second time. And when it cut out, I logged in on my phone and I just cut the trade right here. So looking at our entire RR, where's our entry right here? Stop loss, going to 1 minute because it was the first wick right here. That's another way to narrow stop loss. I also went to the 15-second chart for my entry. And it was right after that big candle. I didn't want to miss any, quick movement. So I just entered the stop. The RR was decent, 43 points. And my take profit was right here. So it was a little under, like 198 points, something like that. So that was the entire trade. 1, 2, was it 4 something? No, that's got to be 1 to 5 because I made 2K and I risked 400 at most. So 1 to 5 because my risk was not over 400 and I ended up making 2K on this trade. So let's get into the charting really quick. First, I did mention our True-Day Open mitigation, daily cycle, and our Asia sell side being taken. That means that this is our manipulation leg for our 30-minute PO3. We did have a bearish daily cycle, but because True Day Open was mitigated, I paid little attention to that because it's in play while our price is just moving, trying to find our way. So True New York as well was mitigated, right? True New York low, our lowest low, was mitigated, and then our target for True New York was just this high, and then we had relative highs, which was the high of Asia. So that could have been your first TP. A lot of people took that and exited there for a 30-minute PO3, but I saw this as playing out longer to all-time highs, so I held it. And I held it through 10 a.m. and 10:30. But let's get to the nitty-gritty executions. If I can line this up. Did I just take that off? I think I did. Okay. So, we can keep both on actually. So go to the 1 minute chart. So daily profiles, let me actually pull out my journal because I wrote, what was it, XAMD for the day, and 90 minute was AMDX. I initially thought it was, 90 minutes XAMD. I initially thought it was AMDX because we didn't sweep a low right here. And so it looked like manipulation was going to be this leg, but then we swept lower because we had an SMT at this low at opening. It was right here. So there was an SMT here before we swept it on ES. That was our 90 minute. And once I got swept, I just saw it as a resweep because our true microcycle open was really like the confirmation to take long, because where's TMSO? True microcycle open is right here. You don't need to do a lot of charting, but true microcycle open, and then we had a microcycle right here between this low and these lows right here at open. And what I took into consideration was also this sweep we had of regular trading hours, because I mentioned regular trading hours so much, it's like the perfect gap. We didn't have a gap to fill new daily opening gap. We just didn't have one. And on ES, we had one that was above. So I took this as a low, the basically bottom of the market if we're going to reach all-time highs before doing any kind of distribution down, which it kind of looks like we're going to do. So because we had no regular trading hours gap, I was looking at this microcycle as the low of the market. And after this candle, I saw the market structure shift, and I wanted to be in on a tap of the fair value gap. Really, that would have been right here if you would have waited on the 1 minute chart. But I wanted to be in at the bottom, and you could have put your stop 2 candles lower like that and still gotten like great RR as well. But I wanted to be in at the bottom. And so what I did was I was going on the 30 second, going on the 15 second, and I mentioned that 15-second tap. So after that, I entered right there, right above where our CISD, well, CISD is technically right here. So in that candle, the top of that candle, because it was very aggressive. That is where my entry was. I was in, and come 10 a.m., I forgot we had news. So when this happened, I was surprised because it was just so aggressive. But the way it closed made me confident in this hold. So what I did was I expected our 8:30 range. Sorry, where's our before 10 a.m. here? I expected us to kind of sweep sell side, maybe come to the first present. So this first presented is technically a breakaway gap. This one is what I used to trail my stop under. So my stop loss was under this fair value gap tap, which is in the discount of our OT, which, all fairness could get swept. So what I was looking at come 10 a.m. was a move lower to sweep this at the lowest. And that didn't even happen. So what was I doing? I was just holding the trade, waiting for 10:30 to see if we were going to move any lower because we want to sell when price is above 10 a.m. and 10:30, and we want to buy when price is below 10 a.m. and 10:30. So put out 10:30 right here. Here's our 10:30 candle, and it was inside the 10 a.m. Not unexpected because we had such a big body for this, or such a big wick for this candle. So I was waiting for this 5-minute right here to inverse, and that was really the confirmation for me to hold this. If this 5-minute didn't inverse, then I would probably exit because it was going to resweep this, and I probably could find a better entry coming distribution quarter. But since this distribution quarter is happening, I'm expecting this 5-minute to inverse. I'm expecting it to inverse heavy because our 15-minute, let's just take off this 5-minute. Take off these opening prices. The 15-minute chart, I was looking at this order block, and what I like to do is you grade these. So CE of it is right here, and you can use quadrants. You can use the CE of the block right here. So CE is right there, and because that tapped right here, I really didn't need it to come any lower. And right there, if we just look on the 2-minute, that is like where our range is. That is where our 30-minute PO3 candle opened. So our wick is below this for our 30-minute PO3. And I really didn't want it to come any lower than this because I thought that this was swept. That's enough. And there really is no reason to go lower. But I held this up there just in case the wicks, kind of came out. So holding this was purely based on ES and NQ. YM just really wasn't giving me all that much. It was very volatile. We probably moved up 400 points in the open, which is why I was waiting for ES and NQ to hit some sort of discount and give a Kraken correlation reversal, because if YM is jumping up to all-time highs and almost close to it didn't hit it yet, but I'm expecting ES and NQ to do the same because of the daily range. This was a discount retrace, creating that wick off of that 15-minute. I knew that after that, our next 15-minute is going to run. It's going to run because we didn't have a CISD. Not really. I mean, the next body didn't close above it. It was just, breaking down to sweep what I saw, London low, discount sell side, actually, because this wasn't actually discount. It's a little bit above discount. So I was referring to ES for this discount sell side, because if we just pull up 50% of the range, right there, that's discount sell side. That was where I wanted to buy, but I don't trade ES. So what I have to do, I had to use gap alignment. That's why that 90-minute BPR is there, because that is the lowest really I want it to go to, or that's the lowest I want the bodies to go to also. But it ended up being the bottom wick, which is even better. So off of that, London low is where I want to get in around London low, because this is our reversal, basically. This is our deepest discount, and on the 1-minute chart coming New York Open, we're going to move aggressively. So I entered there off the second chart because it was the most viable for the risk management, because the model was in play, right? We had our TMSO, we had Kraken correlation, true microcycle open, daily cycle, bullish, true day open was mitigated, as well as true New York. And the only thing that wasn't hit was buy side and true New York buy side. So same on ES too. We had all this low resistance liquidity that was just kind of consolidating and made looking at the 5-minute very uncertain coming into open. I mean, look at this. I didn't like that whatsoever. Especially on ES. I did not like that whatsoever. So true microcycle open was my CISD for the day. That's how I saw it. And I wanted to enter on an internal CISD, not after this got broken, because it would have been too late, because this is already a large move. So the 30-minute PO3, it was... Dude, why does this keep on... Okay. All right. So the 30-minute PO3 was time-based. You can see right here, coming into distribution cycle, accumulation, manipulation, And manipulation in manipulation in manipulation, mind you, right, for our cycles. So we have triple manipulation. Come distribution, I'm expecting something aggressive because usually triple manipulation is instant. It's not going to, play this entire microcycle. It's not going to, dilly-dally around in the 90-minute micro or in the 90-minute manipulation. It's going to be reactive. So this is why I took this trade close to distribution cycle. And you see exactly where distribution cycle is. 1 minute after, you get a perfect fair value gap tap. And after that, that would have been your protected low for literally the rest of the trade until all-time highs. And it's reversing now, which I said it probably would since we got that now 5-minute CISD, 15-minute is getting tapped into. We have a lot of room on ES, actually. So, it still could go higher, but referring to the 4-hour and the 90-minute is what I preach because look at the 4-hour. I mentioned this in the first take. 4-hour, if we're in at the wick, then we're just holding for the rest of the time it happens. And then this 4-hour comes 6 a.m. or sorry, no, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. You could hold longer, and we did to all-time high, which was the target. And after that 4-hour, are you really expecting it to go higher? I mean, if you are, no way ES didn't hit all-time high. That's actually crazy. I'm going to mark this out. But that was the trade for today. Like, look at, no way it didn't hit that. That's got to be top tick of all time, but you didn't get filled on that. You would not get filled on that. That's ridiculous. Okay. Anyway, that is the trade we took, 1 to 5. It was our 30-minute PO3 continuation to high time frame draw on liquidity, which, we hold through the 30-minute we hold through the 4-hour and the 90-minute, which, those give you confirmations to hold because it's basically just confirming the continuation, right? We use the 10 a.m. as a CISD, or we use the 30-minute as a CISD when we have a true microcycle open, and that's our bottom, literally bottom, to confirm the hold for the high time frame move. And if it starts 30-minute PO3 like it did today, you got to be quick because 30-minute PO3 usually moves quicker in terms of reversal than a 10 a.m. PO3 will, because the 10 a.m. candle, it just gives you a bit more time. Like, this is also an entry you could take on the 10 a.m. Not a great one, but like after this right here, there's not really a crack correlation, but still stop here. I don't even know. This isn't a trade that I would take. That's just like another model that I've used before, which is 5-minute continuations. See right here, 5-minute IFVG continuations. Everything else is balanced on all time frames, and you're expecting this new 15-minute to, basically go all the way up to here for 1-to-1 and all-time high for the next round liquidity, because this is a balanced order block. This order block does not need to be traded into. I mentioned this. CE is traded into, so there's no reason to go lower. So that is the trade. I went a bit fast, but I also have work, bro. Yes, I still work. So, I mean, bro, look at that. This is crazy on ES. This did not. If I was trading ES, I would be so pissed that my order would not get filled there. That's crazy. So, anyway, that is it for the trade recap. It was quite honestly a simple trade. It took about, how long did this take? I mean, yeah, almost 2-hour trade. So just learn to hold and you can catch these moves. And really, the stop is low. So I could size up. I could size up on these trades. But it's not in my best interest to do so right now. That's something you do with a buffer when you have a lot of accounts. Even, with one account, when you have a buffer, you take in a payout, 2 payouts, maybe 3. Then that's something that you do, and that's setting you up for the live account on fundeds and like really pushing money into your bank account and not keeping it in the funded accounts. Anyway, I am going to get ready for work, bro, because I'm starting a new job and I'm tired of working, bro. I'm so tired of working. So we're grinding out these funded account payouts. We gotta start scaling. Starting with 2 accounts right now, and we're gonna move up to 5 after 2 payouts, and then double up to 10, because really it's just a mental game, and I've traded 10 before. I'm not gonna mess it up if I follow my rules, because we have a profitable model. So, and we risk like 350 to 400 a trade. Like literally, I risk 350 most days. So the RR in this is insane. That's 5% on a day if you're trading live. And I will start trading live actually because my data is telling me I have a pretty high win rate. And even if I get stopped out, I usually can get into profit enough to get break even. So like Fearing, he trades with two minis on a live, but he goes to break even pretty quickly, and that's something that I want to start doing with time. So you'll see that in my trading coming out. Look at that 4 hour IFVG entering in under that bid. Under that bid. That's just a good entry. I'm glazing the entry, but this could be your entry too, and I hope it is because it's not as hard as it is to see as you think. Like if I could do it, you can do it. And with my help, you're going to do it. And I believe in each and every one of you. So that concludes the video. I will see if we get a trade tomorrow. I'm really looking for one trade this week, one more, maybe two, because it's only Tuesday. I don't really want to trade Fridays unless it's really, really good and it's setting up well the day before. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.